This is our library.
Okay, I won't put this lovely lady on, or should I?
Yes.
Who is this? Is this the
This
librarian?
is Patty
I'm the
Carlson.
librarian.
How
She's
are
the
you?
librarian
I'm
today.
fine.
She's a cousin of mine.
Terrific.
So, yes, so, no, the hair looks just gorgeous.
Oh, you look
Well,
great.
mine is likewise today.
Look at my hair.
See, we have a fireplace, and we have a group that's called Reading by the Fireside that meets once a month. And we put the chairs in a semicircle around the fire, and we read aloud and we talk. And sometimes we talk more than we read, but we have a real good time, and we just have popcorn and things that we can pass around. If you turn right down here, down this steep hill.
Now, what is the population of Dennysville? Do you know?
About 350.
350 people.
That's a Kilby house.
Okay.
Up here, that was an academy. It was incorporated in 1846.
An academy, a school, a private school?
Some of the people in town paid for it.
They did.
And operated only 8 years for financial reasons. And then in 1856, it became a church vestry. And now it belongs to our historical society. And we've just had it scraped, is why it looks so bad. The inmates from Machias jail scraped it.
They did.
Yeah, they scraped our church too.
Are they going to paint it too?
No, we're going to hire it painted.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now, what about the statue?
That's our Civil War monument. And there's a woman down to Pembroke named Gail Menzel that came from New Jersey, and she said she had no connection here, whatever. And she got doing genealogy, and she found out that one of her ancestors designed that.
Oh, my.
That, right there, where that house is, was William Kilby, one of the early settlers, and the father of all these others that had the houses built. His house was moved right across the river.
Oh.
It's still over there.
Yep.
And then his son John and a son-in-law had that built for a parsonage.
Now, where was the train station?
Way up the lane, up the Milwaukee Road, I can show
see.
you.
Okay.
This,
Now, what
this was John Kilby's store, built 1819, and that's the old building that was on the Channel 11.
Yes.
It was the little office down at the mills, and they moved it up here when they put gas tanks in.
Who owns it now? Who owns this?
Well, it's our pastor's nephew, and he's moved to California.
He should fix that up. It needs to be
Yes.
fixed up. It could be fixed up and made.
But if you knew all they're involved in.
Oh, I bet.
Now, the novelty mill sat right there.
Yep.
I used to come right up around that corner and hear the whine of the saws.
And what did your dad do?
He was a teamster, and then he was a truck driver. He drove golf gas truck. And the original, they're all the mills here, the old single saw, and the gang mill, the shingle mill, the bucket factory, and down here was the tannery, and the leach tan pits were where that.
Oh,
And the original novelty mill burned. That, we got here about this one.
Yeah, okay.
Colonel John Allen, you've heard about him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
Tell us about him.
Well, he was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. He came to Nova Scotia with his parents, and he went to school in Massachusetts, and he got sympathy for the colonists, and when the Revolution broke out, they drove him out of Nova Scotia. And he came over here, and he was in charge of the Indians. He was in the Machias area. But one time he had to go see George Washington about getting supplies for the Indians, and the Indians felt they were deserting him. And so he let two of his sons go and stay with the Indians as proof that he would return. One was John and one was Mark. And not this house, but this lot was where Mark Allen built his house, just overlooking. This was all the mill pond. And then his son, Theophilus, see the part that looks like an old-fashioned,
Yes.
we built that.
That was the original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Mark's. Mark's
I
is
see.
gone. Theophilus built this. And then Theophilus had two old maid sisters, and he built this big section for them.
That's great. Have you traveled the world?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well, I have been out of New England because I've been to Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick.
Yeah.
But there's not much I've missed in the local area.
Right.
That's Theodore Jr.'s house. That's the mill house.
It's nice. And these are all privately owned now. Is that right? Yes.
Yes. Now, and this was a Will Allen house. Now let me tell you about this one.
Yes. This one's a beauty.
This house was built in the 1890s, but in order to build it, they took down an old house that had belonged to Ebenezer C. Wilder. It was one of the very first ones in town. It was built in 3 parts at 3 times, and he owned all the way up the street from that Benjamin Foster house all the way to the Milwaukee Road, and all the original houses were either for his children or for some family connection.
Okay.
And the L on that house was moved from what was called the Lincoln Farm, but that was not the Lincoln house we saw. It was a Dr. Albert Lincoln from Prairie. And the driver of the big road was there. And the third one's just been torn down and this new one put in. And these are nice, but they don't fit our architecture.
No. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm glad they're putting up good-looking ones,
But you would prefer that you left it looking the way the architecture was?
yes.
Yeah.
I'd rather they build a house that looked more like the ones around here.
Yeah, right.
Ebenezer's son Elijah built that one.
That's a pretty house.
Now go left.
Isn't that a pretty house? Is this the Milwaukee Road?
No, not yet.
So tell me, what do you do with yourself when you're not writing history about Dennysville?
I don't have time to do my own thing. I don't have time to do my mending or scrub my floor.
You spend a lot of time on the history, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's your passion?
Well, my mother was sick for 20-odd years, and my father died quite young, 58. And I didn't have time to do much in the community, so after I retired, I tried to do things in the community. Ebenezer C. Wilder's son, Elijah, built the L of that house, and his
This way?
Mariner built the main house, and they ran a hotel here.
This is
You
it?
probably won't want to go all the way up here, but this is where the station was.
Oh, it was.
Right in there.
Oh.
And the section cruise building was right over there.
Oh,
And
look at
there's the
that.
railroad bridge.
What's that down there?
Oh, that was they had grain for the poultry farms. Now this is Falls Bridge,
Oh, that is pretty.
and that's the gorge. And that's where Audubon saw the log jam.